along the Himalayan region, but the process of de-escalation, which effectively means pulling back of tens of thousands of troops from either side of the border, that is still continuing. So this is going to be very important for both countries to try and make some progress here. The other item on the agenda, of course, is setting the stage for Prime Minister Narendra Modi's very high-stake meeting with President Xi Jinping that's scheduled for later this month.
From bureaus worldwide, this is...
From the studios of Extreme Sports in Hastings, Nebraska, we present Huddle Up, a great way to start your day with all the news, weather, and sports you need, interesting interviews, and friendly conversation from two guys that go together like Scooby and Shaggy. Mike Will and Tyson Havronic.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Huddle Up here on Extreme Sports. It is a Monday, the 18th day of August for 2025. Mike Will and Tyson Havronic ready to start your day the right way with all of your news, weather, and sports you need to get out the door here this morning. Going to be talking about the Nebraska volleyball team. They defeated the alumni team 3-1 on Saturday in John Cook Arena at the Bob DeBenny Sports Center. Talk about that coming up. Hastings College volleyball team, they got their season started. They went 1-3 down in North Newton, Kansas over the weekend. Hastings College football team has announced their team captains for the 2025 season. The Nebraska Kearney women's soccer team has been picked by the league's coaches to finish 7th this year in the MIAA. Tragic news coming out of the Omaha Mavericks basketball program. Forward Ding Mayer, he died on Saturday in a drowning incident at the Black Ridge Reservoir in Harriman, Utah. He just came to Omaha during the off season. He transferred from North Dakota. We'll talk about that coming up. Lincoln East has been eliminated from the American Legion World Series in Shelby, North Carolina. Kansas City Royals picking up a win yesterday over the Chicago White Sox. They will host Texas coming up tonight. We're going to be hearing some comments today from Hastings College head football coach Matt Franzen. The Broncos wrapped up their preseason workouts with a scrimmage on Saturday. It's Lloyd Wilson Field. We'll check in and see how the Broncos are progressing as they get ready for their season opener on August the 30th at Dome. Also, had a chat with Clint Head, the Hastings St. Cecilia football coach over the weekend. We'll get some comments from Danny Bushboom Kelly concerning that alumni match on Saturday in Lincoln. So the plate is full for a Monday as we welcome in Tyson Havronic from the Western Studios this morning. It's school day for you.
It's back to school day. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. We got up a little bit earlier than usual, getting things ready to go and making sure that as soon as we wrap up proceedings here on this morning show, we're heading straight down Highway 6 and going to open up the classroom, see if we still remember how to present in front of students, but excited to see a bunch of fresh faces today for the first time of the fall semester. Always an exciting time, I think, for anybody that's in the education system, and a fresh year, fresh start, fresh opportunities, and looking forward to getting underway today.
Yeah, CCC is one of the last educational facilities to open up. So a lot of the schools open up here in the past week or so. CCC opening up today. Hastings College started their classes on Thursday. So yeah, you got a couple of extra days of vacation here this year.
I don't know how I wiggled that one into the budget and into the contract, but yeah, we did got a chance to enjoy the weekend and Kool-Aid Days weekend. So it was busy time and got to see some lot of people from not just around the state, but around the nation that had stopped into the brewery this weekend. First Street was bussin'. I mean, we were busy this weekend, so it was a profitable weekend, and it was a fun weekend to share the story of Hastings.
All right, so a lot on the plate here today. If you'd like to chime in with us, you can. 402-834-1330. That's the Hamilton Telecommunications fan line. You can join in with us anytime here during the hour. 402-834-1330. If you'd like to leave a message on our social media sites, you can, as well as we will monitor those comments as well. Where do we start here today? I know some stuff coming up from last week, right after we got off the air on Friday. And I thought we would discuss this. We'll just get it out of the way early. The alternative uniforms for Nebraska.
Ooh, baby.
They're going to be worn for the USC game this year. They're all black in nature. Black pants, black tops. Your first take on what you saw?
I thought they were pretty sharp. Again, this is something that a lot of programs have used as a branding tool and a recruiting tool. Look good, play good theory. And when you see those uniforms just pop off the page and kind of had that children of the corn mentality look as they were coming through the cornfields, it gets the hair raised, man, and you're ready to go. But at the end of the day, it comes down to, dude, we could look as sharp as hell and not play very good football. So the product on the field has to match the uniform that you're putting on. Take our all whites, for example, right? They're cursed. Everyone hates them because we always lose when we go in the road all whites, but they are the sharpest looking uniform that Nebraska has, period. I think it's a good take. I know that there's going to be a lot of traditional Husker fans that are want scarlet and cream 24/7, but you got to mix it up a little bit, and you want big games to kind of have a different feel, and this is an opportunity to get in on the alternate uniform action that so many schools are using and using as a tool. So whatever helps us in terms of branding the program and getting recruits to want to come be a Husker, I'm all for it. And if it's uniforms, then by God, let's make 4 different alternate uniforms. The only thing that I'll say is, like, give me the alternate uniforms when we're playing an opponent that has a similar color scheme with us. Like in Indiana or a Wisconsin, for instance. You watch a Wisconsin-Nebraska game, can't tell the difference. Like if you're sitting at a bar, like, okay, we got to make sure who's red, who's white here, because they have the exact same color scheme. That's when I would implement the alternates. But hey, man, again, I think they look sharp, and hopefully we'll be ready to go.
Yeah, hopefully we play as sharp as the uniforms look.
Exactly.
Huh? Yeah. Oregon is a team that has so many different uniforms. You never know what they're going to be in. So I understand that the Husker faithful wants us to be in the scarlet and cream, so to speak. But one game out of the year, and I thought they looked sharp as well. When I first saw those, I thought, yeah, I like those. All black unis. I can muster that for one game. Now let's hope we close the deal with a win over USC. So.
I think the other thing that you had to like from the broadcast perspective is like the numbers were clear and legible. I've seen a lot of teams take an Oregon, for example, when they have their green and silver and it's silver numbers. Good luck being a broadcaster and try to do games with like silver numbers. I've had true story teams that have done black on black and there's a white trim outline for the numbers. I can't tell who made the tackle there? Who caught the ball? What's his number? I don't know. It's black on black. What are you doing? I wish more uniform people would ask radio broadcasters before they go ahead and drop unis. But these babies look sharp, and they're going to pop off the page, man.
Dort. I can remember they had the all-time worst uniform ever.
They were like white on silver, right?
Yeah, they had silver numerals, and their away jerseys were white. So trying to pick those out. That was a couple of years ago. Morningside had some uniforms for basketball that were the worst ever. I think they wore them one season, and they were trashed for obvious reasons. Following that season, nobody could tell. They had they were on white uniforms, and very thin red lettering for the numerals, and you couldn't tell anything.
That's gross.
Yeah, those are the 2 worst uniforms that I've stumbled across in my broadcasting career. I give those to Dort and to the Dordt football team and the Morningside basketball team for having the worst uniforms ever.
I think it was Hershey. I did a game. I can't remember who was playing Hershey, but they were the opponents, and Hershey had black on black and purple trim. And good thing I wasn't doing the game for the Hershey Panthers, because I didn't know a single kid or who had the ball throughout the entire game.
Just had to kind of mix stuff up.
Running back takes it up. Yeah.
There was a Kansas team that had basketball uniforms a couple of years ago that we played. They were dark blue tops with a black lettering. You couldn't see those either. So, a couple of things already chiming in. Get out the broom. Get out the broom. The Kansas City Royals swept the White Sox over the weekend. Royals are now over the 500 mark, 63-61 in the season. They've got a big series coming up with the Texas Rangers beginning tonight. So if they want to stay in the hunt for a wild card, season winding down, this is a big series that gets underway tonight in Kansas City. 6:40 will be the first pitch for the first game tonight.
I had Texas penciled in and still do. It's a team that I think is going to ultimately take that third wild card spot in the American League. I don't want to put the words pivotal in the middle of August on a 3-game series. I think this is one, Mike, that you're going to look back on if Kansas City does or doesn't make the playoffs. I think you're going to look back on this and say, how did we fare against a team in the wild card race with us in the heat of August, in the playoff push? How did we fare in this particular series? And you're going to look back at that and say, that's why we're in the postseason, or that's why we're at home taking an extended vacation. And I'll say the same thing for St. Louis this weekend. You're going toe-to-toe with the New York Yankees, and that was one that you felt like St. Louis, especially after coming off the disappointment against Colorado, that needed to take 2 or 3, and they ended up getting swept by the Yankees. St. Louis now losing 5 straight games. They're now 2 games below the 500 mark, and now their playoff picture is currently at 1.7%, which is a far cry from the 6% that we were at Friday when I was all excited and thinking that we could still squeeze our way into the NL postseason. It's looking pretty bleak, and you look back and you have those opportunities that you got to cash in on. The bullpen was atrocious this weekend for St. Louis. The defense was, other than Mason Wynn, who made probably the play of the year, atrocious. There was multiple errors that led to New York Yankees runs, and we gave it away. We gave away a series, so it's five straight losses in the Show Me State for St. Louis. Meanwhile, Kansas City's turning the corner, and they're looking like they're going to try to make an exciting playoff push. So I'm not shifting and jumping on the KC bandwagon per se, but yeah, they'll be fun to watch. They'll be fun to watch down the stretch.
Your chances for the Cardinals are
bleak.
Slim to none.
Bleak.
You're at 1.6 this morning?
1.7.
1.7% chance.
That extra point really makes a big difference there.
All right, so big series for Kansas City opening tonight at 6:40 at Kauffman Stadium. Let's talk some quick volleyball, shall we? The Huskers had their alumni match against some pretty good players on the other side of the net on Saturday. Very competitive match. Nebraska won it 3-1. 25-11, 25-14, 17-25, and 25-22. Huskers opening up their season this weekend with the AVCA First Serve Showcase at Pinnacle Bank Arena. And what a way to open up the season for new head coach Danny Busboom Kelly.
It was fun.
Yeah, your first 2 opponents, third-ranked Pittsburgh on Friday at 6. Then they've got 6th-ranked Stanford on Sunday at 2:30. But, yeah, the alumni match, I watched that Saturday. Yeah. That was a very competitive and fun match to watch.
It was entertaining. You know, they found a way to make preseason preparations fun to put eyeballs on, and you bring back some Husker legends in there. And, God, you talk to some of the players in the post-game press conferences, like Andy Jackson. She just said, like, she was just starstruck, and it was just a fun atmosphere to be around. The Husker faithful brought it to John Cook Arena at the Bob Devaney Sports Center, which is going to take a little bit of time getting used to, like putting all the legends in one mouthful when you're talking about the arena there. But I thought the Husker faithful brought the energy and brought the passion, and now that was just fun to watch.
Danny, after the match, says it was a great tune-up for Nebraska's season opening weekend.
I thought it was great, and pretty much everything we had hoped for. That the alum, they were excited to play. They played great, and then we got tested and kind of felt some pressure, which was amazing going into next week. And we got to see a lot of different players too, step up in that pressure. And I think it really helped, us figure out who we're going to start and what, realistic changes we can make. And I think it made me a lot more comfortable going into next weekend. So thank you. Big thank you to the alums for showing up and playing great.
And DBK says that several players stepped up when things were a little iffy for the Huskers.
Probably the usuals. I thought Harper played great and was a huge voice. I thought Bergen had an awesome match, and you can really just feel the team steadied when she was in there. And I thought Lainey, sometimes her play is not super, super smooth, but her presence just helps us a ton.
And Danny says the atmosphere obviously was pretty good at the Bob Devaney Sports Center.
Yeah, it was great. I got a little bit teary-eyed just seeing all those alums come back, and I know they were excited to get the standing ovations and get that feeling back. And some of them haven't played in years, and so that was really fun to see them out here. And some of them I recruited really hard and didn't get to finish out their careers as their assistants, so it was just really great to get to connect with them again. And I think it's really important for our players to get that feeling, too, of that when you leave, this place is still really special. And, once a Husker, always a Husker. They saw that truer than ever tonight.
And Danny says that her team showed a lot of improvement from the red-white scrimmage they had just a week before.
Definitely. From the service line, we were much better. And statistically, we were better, but I just thought our players were hitting their serves and making them move. And the red-white, we were so tentative, and I thought even our misses tonight were pretty good misses.
All right, so that's Danny Busboom Kelly, head coach for the Nebraska volleyball team as they get ready for their season opening weekend. I think the game on Friday I saw is going to be on Fox, and the game on Sunday is going to be on ESPN. So if you're looking for Nebraska volleyball this weekend, and why not? What a way to start the season against third-ranked Pittsburgh and sixth-ranked Stanford. You'll be able to see it on the tube this weekend. But all in all, I think a pretty good preseason start for the Huskers. They've got so much talent on this team. Depth we've been talking about all preseason long. Now the big problem is who gets the start.
Yep.
Yeah, who gets the start on Friday night for the Huskers in their season opener?
That was Vise and I's conversation last Sunday. We said the biggest problem that Danny Busboom Kelly is going to have isn't going to be getting that team motivated and ready to play and finding talent gaps. It's going to be, man, how do you turn in a lineup card with the depth in that roster and all the talent that they have and trying to keep all the players happy. The rotations are going to be massive, and I think just it's going to be a team that's fresh on the court at all times and is going to get a lot of production from everybody. And so I think that's just kind of the message where, hey, if you are, and they don't sit on the bench anymore in college volleyball, they go off into the corner and go into their little lines. But if you're not on the floor, the energy still is going to be at 150% for you, so that when you do get the call and you do go in on rotation, that you're right into the swing of things. So, there's a lot of optimism. There's a lot of excitement. And then you're going in right away with a postseason style feel, playing two powerhouses. Pittsburgh, as of late, they had that number one notion ranking all last season until they got to the Final Four, just similar to Nebraska. So, it'll be fascinating to see this team in action against the very best right out of the chute. No easing in to the season. No tune-up games, if you will, tune-up matches. We're going up against two top 10 powerhouses and two teams that I would expect to see go deep into the NCAA tournament here come a couple months down the road.
Why do volleyball teams do that? Players don't sit on the bench if they kind of huddle at the end of the floor and do their thing.
I think it's just energy. You're trying to keep the energy levels up so that you can go in and and not miss a step on the court. Like, I think it has to do with that.
I've always wondered. I know a lot of teams do that, and it's kind of tradition anymore that volleyball teams, they don't sit on the bench anymore.
There's like the coach, the assistant coach, the trainer, and then a whole lot of empty seats, and everybody else is in the corner hanging out and doing the cheers, doing the team rallies, keeping the energy. And I think it has to do with that. Momentum and energy is such. If any other sport, a momentum swing can completely change the complexity of a match, it's volleyball. Momentum is huge, and if you got it and you get the crowd behind you, so I got to think it's got a lot to do with that.
All right, I'll buy that. 402-834-1330 is our telephone number. If you'd like to chime in with us here today, lots of folks hanging out with us in the lobby. We'd like to see that. If you'd like to leave us a message on our social media sites, do that as well. We were talking about alternative uniforms earlier. Ryan Martin has chimed in. More than one alternate uniform is wasting money, in his opinion. Yeah, I don't think you need to come out with 2 or 3 alternate uniforms for a season. One is enough. I agree with that.
I don't know if Oregon is actually wasting any money or because the head of Nike is like an Oregon Duck supporter that he doesn't just donate all of those to the University of Oregon. I don't think Oregon's actually spending a whole lot of money. I think they get a pretty nice check from Nike for those unis. But, they have a uniform combination for every game. They don't need to wear the same uniform twice in a season. It's got to be easy on the laundry bill.
Yeah. Yeah, whoever's got that chore. Anyway, all right, waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning, already 7:21 on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
Well, shortly after our show Friday, University of Nebraska President Dr. Jeff Gold formally announced that he would decline a performance-based merit pay increase worth nearly $160,000, which had been approved by the Board of Regents. Dr. Gold requested that the funds instead be directed to support university programs, citing the ongoing financial challenges across the University of Nebraska system. He emphasized his pride in leading the institution and his desire to support students, faculty, and staff during a, quote, critical time for higher education, end quote. The University of Nebraska system is grappling with a $20 million budget shortfall. As long as we're on the topic of money, education, and budgets, a program established just 2 years ago to fund schools and save taxpayers some money appears to be headed straight for an iceberg, and one school board member in Lincoln says all state leaders are doing is moving around deck chairs on the Titanic. The Education Future Fund, created in 2023, with initial infusion of $1 billion, that's billion with a B, followed by an annual commitment of $250 million from the legislature, with the aim of lowering property taxes and bolstering K-12 school funding. Governor Jim Pillen boasted, when gaining support from lawmakers, that this fund would grow to about $2.5 billion by 2030. However, actual spending has outpaced contributions, with expenses exceeding incoming transfers by over $150 million annually. And now, analysts conclude that if lawmakers continue only with the standard $250 million in annual contributions, that the fund will be inadequate to meet its obligations and could be fully depleted by the year 2028, just 5 years after its launch. 7:23, we'll swing things back over to the East Side Studios. Mike, what's going on in sports?
Well, the Nebraska volleyball team defeated the alumni team 3-1 on Saturday in John Cook Arena at the Bob Devaney Sports Center. Scores were 25-21, 25-14, 17-25, and 25-22. Harper Murray had 12 kills for the Huskers. Andy Jackson had 11 kills, 3 blocks, and 3 aces. Allie Batenhorst led the alumni with 13 kills. Lindsey Krause had 12. Lauren Stivrins had 10. Nebraska will officially begin their season this weekend with the AVCA First Serve Showcase at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Huskers will play third-ranked Pittsburgh on Friday at 6 before playing sixth-ranked Stanford on Sunday at 2:30. Hastings College volleyball team went 1-3 in North Newton, Kansas over the weekend. The Broncos beat Langston of Oklahoma, but lost Oklahoma Panhandle State, Texas A&M Texarkana, and Bethel College. Hastings will play an exhibition game at Nebraska Wesleyan on Tuesday. First serve will be at 6:30 inside Snyder Arena. Hastings College football team has announced their team captains for the 2025 season. After a team vote, junior offensive lineman Jaden Lagunas of Hastings St. Cecilia, redshirt junior quarterback Jarrett Sinek of Hastings High, senior safety Sam All of Louisville, and senior tight end Jake Bargan of Centennial were named captains. Hastings will open the season on August 30th at Dome. The Nebraska Kearney women's soccer team has been picked by the league's coaches to finish 7th this year in the MIAA. The Lopers finished 8-6-5 last year, 4-5-3 in the conference. They qualified for the MIAA tournament for the first time in 9 years. UNK will open the season on September 5th at Concordia St. Paul. Omaha forward Deng Mayer died Saturday in a drowning incident at the Black Ridge Reservoir in Harriman, Utah. Mayer was raised in Salt Lake City and averaged 6.3 points and 4 rebounds per game for North Dakota last season before transferring to Omaha at the end of the season. Lincoln East has been eliminated from the American Legion World Series in Shelby, North Carolina. East lost to Rockport of Indiana 6-5 on Friday, beat League City of Texas 14-7 on Saturday, and then lost to Portland, Oregon 16-10 on Sunday. Kansas City Royals beat the Chicago White Sox 6-2 on Sunday. Royals are now 63-61 in the season. They'll play host to Texas tonight. First pitch will be at 6:40. And Austin Dillon won the NASCAR race on Saturday at Richmond. Alex Bowman was second, followed by Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano, and Austin Cindric. The win puts Dillon into the Cup playoffs this year. 7:26 at Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
More hot and humid conditions on this Monday. Plenty of sunshine, a high of 94. Southeast wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Overnight tonight, chance of showers and thunderstorms after midnight. Some could be strong to severe. Winds would be the main threats out of this, and 68's overnight low. Plenty of sunshine once again on Tuesday. Slightly cooler, a high of 89. 85 and sunny on Wednesday. Thursday, sunny and 88.
Right now, as you wake up, get going, we've got south winds at about 6. Humidity at 84%. Clear skies. It is 73 in Hastings.
Accessible and affordable holistic care is just around the corner at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center. Located at 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings. At Bamboo Spa, we offer a range of therapies to help you unwind and recharge. Experience soothing massages, rejuvenating head spa scalp treatments, and our Advanced Glow 2 facials. Discover the healing power of ozone therapy and frequency healing. Become a member for exclusive 24-hour access to our therapeutic amenities, including the infrared sauna, hydro massage, and cryo lounge. Members enjoy 20% off all services and 10% off products in our non-toxic retail shop. Visit our Facebook page to learn more and book your appointment today. Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, truly holistic care, designed for you.
I'm John Butler, Funeral Director and owner at Livingston Butler Vollen Funeral Home and Cremation Center in Hastings.
And I'm Nikki Butler, the Advanced Funeral Planning Specialist. Whether you choose a traditional service, cremation, or a unique memorial service, our experienced staff is here to help guide you through every step. Visit us at lbvfh.com to learn more about our services and how we can support you.
Livingston Butler Vollen Funeral Home and Cremation Center. We are here when your need is greatest.
Hamilton has been providing IT solutions for businesses across the state of Nebraska for more than 3 decades. We know that Nebraska businesses are a driving force of support for the communities in which we live and work. We keep them connected and protected by delivering cybersecurity, hosted phones, and managed IT. We are grateful to be part of our Nebraska communities and to support their technology needs.
More information at Hamilton is Business.
Every football season, there's that one fan. The one who sees the upsets coming. The one who doesn't just cheer, they calculate. They survive. This year, that fan could be you. Introducing Extreme Sports Survivor, the ultimate test of football instinct. Pick one NFL team to win each week. No spreads. No gimmicks. Just survive. But there's a twist. Once you pick a team, you can't pick them again. One wrong call, and it's over. Your name fades. Your shot gone. But survive long enough, be the last one standing, and you'll win our grand prize. Not just the glory, not just the bragging rights, something more. Sign up by Wednesday, September 3rd at x-streamsports.com/survivor. Do you trust your gut? Can you outlast them all? This is more than a game. This is Extreme Sports Survivor.
Yeah, football season is creeping up on us, and again, the Survivor will begin obviously the first week of the NFL season. You got to get signed up by September the 3rd. I understand we're going to announce the prize package coming up on Labor Day on Facebook. Yeah, nice. We'll drop that on the Facebook so you can see what you're competing for. But get signed up by September 3rd, and who knows, you could be our last survivor for the 2025 season and win the prize package. So get signed up by September 3rd.
I mean, bragging rights would be a pretty solid prize in and of itself, but we're also throwing some extra things your way. So, yeah, it's gonna be a fun competition. Again, we'll do our survivor picks probably on Wednesday before the Thursday night kickoff, and we'll do that as long as you and I are still alive in Survivor, which I don't anticipate given last year's blazing 5 track record. The good thing is it's not against the spreads. I think that'll give us a little bit longer shelf life, but it's going to get complicated as you move along through the season. So excited to get underway with Survivor. Speaking of getting the football season underway, our annual tradition will continue this weekend, Sunday. You and I, we have a big fantasy football draft.
Is that this weekend?
Reminder. I think so.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
I think we're a scotch early this year, aren't we?
Yeah, last year you guys did it, and I was in the middle of a volleyball match, and so that was really I was glad to have to do double duty while I was trying to draft and do a volleyball match at the same time. That was fun.
You've got that as an excuse, though, because you did so poorly.
Thanks for scheduling.
Oh, so that's probably why we did it this Sunday. So you don't have an excuse.
That's right.
You don't have an excuse. So anyway, football. Let's talk some Hastings College football, shall we?
Yeah.
Broncos held a scrimmage on Saturday, kind of wrapped up their first half of their preseason workouts. They're going to go over the scrimmage film today, and they'll break out into their scout teams, and they'll get ready for their season opener against Doane coming up on August the 30th down in Crete. Had a chance to talk with head coach Matt Franzen after the scrimmage, and the coach was pretty happy with what he saw in the scrimmage on Saturday.
We came out and defensively played very solid. We gave up a couple things over the top. I think our quarterback play was good. Probably what we expected coming out of camp. I think we saw the things that we've seen from Jarrett Senek in camp pretty well showed up today. Carson Kalachik had a couple nice runs as well. I think we've got a nice two nice quarterbacks there. Stayed healthy out of a big scrimmage like this. That's always the number one goal, to wrap up camp and not have any big injuries coming out of the last scrimmage, and we were able to do that today as well.
So what about that competition between Jarrett Senek and Carson Kolachek for the number one job at Hastings College?
It's been a great battle. It's been a great camp. I think going into the scrimmage, I think Jarrett Senek had made a couple plays in camp that started to separate him just by inches, by inches and hairs. We'll look at the film today and see how that worked. Both guys, it was very important for us to give both guys work behind the number one offensive line, because it's tough when you're asked to be great and you're running behind the second team offensive line. You're not going to get as much time and as much, you're not going to have the opportunities. And so both guys ran behind the ones today. So we'll look at the film, but like I said, at least going into the scrimmage, Jarrett had separated himself at least by a little bit, and so we'll make a decision coming out of the scrimmage here today, and have a first guy and a second guy, I think, going into game week, which was what we wanted to do as we headed into camp.
Now, a lot of times when teams beat on each other throughout the first couple of weeks of preseason workouts, things get a little chippy in nature. And the coach says he actually had to shut that down earlier.
It was literally practice 3, where there was a whole bunch of trash talk, and it was really getting negative between the offense and defense. And we had a big come to Jesus at conditioning that day, and we said this isn't going to happen this way. It's kind of what we got. We allowed it to happen, I think, 2 years ago, and then last year we thought that was going to be our identity. And when times got tough, we didn't know how to stick together last year, and you saw it. We set the all-time Hastings College record for single season losses, and we that are still here have to carry that forever. So that's one thing this year we're not going to have, and so I think we squashed it. And I think today you saw good energy, good celebration within the units, but not snapping at each other. And I haven't talked a lot to our team about this because I don't like bringing these things up, but when you watch teams like Morningside and Northwestern Iowa play, they don't chip at the other team. They celebrate together, and that's how they win. And they don't waste their energy on that other stuff because it's not worth it. But their chemistry is always great, and their teams are always great, and I think there's something to that.
We've got a new offensive coordinator for this year and a recommitment to maybe rushing the football. And the coach says he liked what he saw during Saturday's scrimmage.
The run game was steady today. It wasn't powerful. What excites me about that, honestly, is I think our run defense played really well. We threw the ball a little more today than we would if it was a game. And I talked to Coach Bauer going in. I said, if you run the ball 5 times in a row tomorrow, I'm going to be really nervous about our offensive linemen getting up out of every pile. And he said, we're going to throw it tomorrow. We're going to throw the RPOs aggressively, and you saw that. But the run game I feel really good about. Our offensive line, our starting 5 are good. We made a couple changes coming off of last season in that group, and we have 2 transfer running backs that have come in and taken the 1 and 2 spots. And they're both junior college transfers. We haven't been real active in the transfer market since I've been at Hastings. After last year, we looked at everything and said, we got to do something. This can't happen again, and that was one thing that we wanted to do. We needed to get some speed in the backfield, and we have 2 guys today in Caden Merriman and Dalton Armbruster that both played real well, caught the ball well. You didn't get a chance to see Caden in the open field, but he's a legitimate 10-500 meter guy, and he's going to run track in the spring here. So that's pretty cool. Those would be our 2 starting running backs.
And on the other side of the ball, the defense looked pretty good as well.
Justice Hostetler, even though he's just going to be a sophomore, he was the defensive player of spring ball. We didn't have the actual award, but if you asked anybody, he's the guy that really blew the doors off in spring ball. Well, he was ill. He was sick at the beginning of camp, and we didn't have him for most of the first week. And so you saw him today rushing, pressuring the quarterback, and from a walk-up edge position. He's an inside linebacker, but he's an absolute spark plug, and he's still getting his sea legs under him. He's going to be a really talented player. But our run defense is good. We're playing a committee of defensive linemen, which is also good. It's going to be hot at the beginning of the season, and you can't rely on 3 guys to play 80 or 90 snaps. You have to have fresh D linemen, and we have 8 or 9 of them. Might be a freshman or 2 that fill in to that mix. Hudson Devlin from Sandy Creek is a incredible talent. Give him a year. You're going to see him on the field on Saturday this fall, and he's a freshman. Give him an off season in a year, and he's going to be dynamite. So I like it. Our secondary is kind of thin. We had a late addition to camp at safety who is learning, and we're going to see. Hopefully he can give us some needed depth. But it's a talented group, and everybody in the secondary is back. So anyway, I think it's a good defense. I think it's going to be an opportunistic defense. It's going to be a high-energy defense. And, we didn't force any turnovers today. I credit our offense for taking care of the football today. But hopefully when the season starts, our defense is forcing some turnovers.
All right, that's Hastings College head football coach Matt Franzen. And they had a scrimmage on Saturday. Get ready for their season opener, which is on the 30th of August on the road down at Doane University in Crete. Again, we'll be the exclusive voice for Hastings College athletics again for the 2025-2026 season. So you'll be able to catch all the Broncos sports right here on Extreme Sports.
And a lot to look forward to from that interview with Coach Franzen. And I think, again, Caden coming in and his just blazing speed and what he can do in the open field is going to be a real big attribute to that offense. Obviously, a guy like Sinek, who went over to the University of Nebraska. They came back to Hastings College and is going to get the opportunity to lead his hometown team. And you talk about that defensive line, Justice and Devlin in there, going to be able to just wreak havoc on the quarterback and really, really mature as this season progresses. And it's a young team, especially on that defense. And I think that gives you a lot of optimism knowing that, give this team a couple years and then that defense could just really be one of the premier shutdown Ds in the Great Plains Athletic Conference. So a lot of optimism heading into the season here for Hastings College, and can't wait to get the season underway for the Broncos.
Again, they announced their captains as well on Saturday. Jaden Lagunas, the center from Hastings St. Cecilia, a junior offensive lineman. One of the captains, Jarrett Sinek, the quarterback, the transfer from actually South Dakota. He went from Nebraska to South Dakota.
That's right. Right.
Now he's back at Hastings College. So
missed the South Dakota stop.
Yeah,
yep.
And I think it was a brief stop there, so I understand. So anyway, Sinek from Hastings High is going to be one of the captains. Sam All, the safety, a senior out of Louisville, and Jake Bargan, the tight end of the Centennial, another senior, is going to be the four captains for Hastings College. So they voted on that on Friday night and announced those captains on Saturday. So,
and most exciting, a commitment to running the damn ball.
Yeah, we'll see how it gets done.
That's music to my ears, baby.
Well, it's tough to do sometimes in the Great Plains Athletic Conference, and you go up against teams like Morningside and Northwestern that give up less than 75 yards per game rushing.
That's wild.
It's tough to do. Before we get to Clint Head, a couple other sports notes. Scotty Scheffler, he won the BMW championship over the weekend in golf. Mm-hmm. He has sank an 82-foot chip on the 17th hole to capture the BMW championship. Fifth PGA Tour title of the season for him. Closed with a 300 par 67. Good for a two-shot victory. And he becomes the first player since Tiger Woods in 2006-2007 to win at least 5 times on the PGA Tour in consecutive years. But he has Scotty Scheffler, big chip on the 17th hole, 82 feet out, captures the BMW championship over the weekend.
He's on another planet. I mean, just in terms of his ability and what he can do on the golf course, it's Scotty Scheffler's world, and everybody else is just playing in it, man. He is on a completely different atmosphere, galaxy, whatever you want to call it. Dude's outer worldly right now, and so he's fun to watch. You can't bet against him. You go into the FedEx Cup here, which is going to begin, I think, this weekend for the PGA Tour. I'm not betting against Scotty. Not a chance in hell.
The Big Ten has considered an idea of a massive expansion of the college football playoff that would grow the postseason to 24 or 28 teams. This broke over the weekend. While the idea is in the very early stages, the proposal eliminates conference championship games and offers a large number of automatic bids for all 4 power leagues. For example, in the 28-team model, the Big Ten and the SEC would get 7 automatic bids, while the ACC and the Big 12 would each receive 5. There would be 2 automatic bids for the non-Power 4 conferences and 2 at-large teams. We're currently sitting at 12.
Mm-hmm.
In the second year, 2025, we'll have a 12-team format, and here we go. We knew it would. Now the Big 12 is proposing up to 28 teams be involved in the college football's playoff.
I mean, I don't hate expansion. I hate automatic bids. Don't tell me that your conference is going to automatically, before the season starts, before any of these teams step on the field, that your 7 best teams, even if they're mediocre, in 5 through 7 slots, are going to be able to get into the college football playoffs. That's crap. The automatic bids, again, I still think basketball does it best with the selection committee, and that there's not really a lot of auto bids. I hate the opportunity or stripping the opportunity away to play for conference hardware. Conference championship Saturday is can't miss TV, and I don't want to take that away to expand the postseason. Again, I don't hate expansion. I think 16 could be the sweet spot, if you will. And everybody play everybody and no automatic buys so that there's no bitching about which teams get the automatic buy. Just straight up seed them 1 through 16, have a selection committee in there. Obviously, you get some conference champions. That's going to give you a little weight, especially if you're in the Power 4 spot. And let's stop saying Power 5, because Pac-12 is no longer, in my opinion, a power conference. They've been delegated to the Mountain Wests and the MACs and the American Conference USA style. I don't like seven teams automatically getting in from the Big Ten, because there's been years where we don't deserve 4. So we'll see how that all plays out. Again, it's a pretty ambitious proposal to take a third of the college football teams and put them into the postseason. I still think 16 ultimately is the sweet spot, but we haven't even played a season with the restructuring of how they're doing the 12-team playoff yet. Let's get one of those seasons in the books, see how it goes, and then look at potential expansion. 28's too much.
I think we tweaked the college football playoff system at the end of last year, so this will be the first real season under the new model, so to speak, the 12-team playoff with the couple of changes that we made at the end of last year. So before we play one season of it, they're already looking about expanding it to 28 teams, much like basketball is talking about expanding the basketball tournament to some ungodly amount of teams, 72
or something like that. Yeah.
So anyway, that was a couple of interesting things that popped over the weekend. You're waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning. This is Huddle Up on Extreme Sports. We've heard from Danny Busboom Kelly. We've heard from Matt Franzen on the show so far today. Let's get a high school preview now, shall we? Check in with Clint Head over at Hastings St. Cecilia. Coach, first week of practice in the book, so what have you seen so far?
Yeah, I'm really, we've had a really solid week. I like where we're at as a team. These guys have come together. They put a lot of work in the offseason. We needed to improve after last year, and these guys have done a great job of doing that, getting in the weight room. Not only that, but growing together, playing for each other. I was impressed this week. We're way ahead of where we were last year.
You really passed the eye test. It's going to be a much, much bigger team on both sides of the ball this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing what maturity does with 15, 16, 17-year-old kids. We've grown up a little bit, and we've got a little more size up front and a little bit of size in the backfield. And, that was a big thing last year when you walked out onto the field and you looked across and you're like, oh, this could be a job. And now we feel like we've got some of those guys.
What winless last season, can you kind of use that as added ammunition this year, that the guys come back with a little bit of firepower?
Yeah, I pull it out every once in a while. When I feel like we're kind of lagging a little bit, we'll pull it out every once in a while, and you can see these guys snap back to that. They didn't like that. It didn't set well with them, and that's the thing about this group is they want to compete, they want to be good, they want to be competitive, and they have that drive to them, and they've really shown it since last November when we started, working out again. Like, they've really shown that they want to get better, and not just in football, in everything they do, wrestling, basketball, track. They want to be really good, and so it's been fun to be around this group.
What's this team got to do differently? What's this team got to do better this year to maybe counteract what we did last year?
Yeah, we got to take the physicality that we put in the weight room and the energy we put in the weight room, and we got to bring it out to the football field. And we've got to go tackle people and run through them. The one thing we've been preaching as coaches is when I hit something, I run my feet. It doesn't matter what it is. I might hit the wrong guy, but I'm going to run my feet. And everything we do, anytime there's contact, we run our feet. And so we're talking about being more physical. We've really been working on the mentality side of that too. And the guys are buying into it. They really want to get to that point.
Who's kind of risen to the top here in this after the first week? Who's opening some eyes for you?
Yeah, no, I really like where the Sabaka kid is. We're doing some really nice things with him. The Lindauer kid is playing well up front, and then Aiden Schieffer, he's just a good overall athlete. We can put him at quarterback. I can split him out, and he's done a really nice job with a lot of things we do. The other one, we have a young kid, John Bykirk, has really opened the eyes a little bit. He's going to be a pretty good one. He's a sophomore, and then the other one that's young that has been really impressive is the Munter kid. Griffey can do a lot of things, and he's a definite effort kid.
Defensively doing some different things on defense, and you guys are excited about that side of the ball.
I really like where we're at. Coach Baker has come in. Coach Dinan left, got the head coaching job at Ogallala, and we were happy for him. And Coach Baker has come in and changed it. Put our defense in, and we're really moving around. And I think he's done a really nice job of putting guys in positions to be successful, and then using what we have, our talents. He's kind of figured out what our talents are and using them to our advantage.
Going to have to get out of the gates early, Coach. You got a brutal first part of your schedule.
Yeah, you got to love it. I mean, you start out with the number 6 team in the state, and by the time you've played 4 games this year, we'll have played 6, 7, and 2, and then the one in between them, they're Amherst. They're never a slackers. That's a physical football team. So, we're just going to take it one day at a time, one game at a time, and we're going to go out and fight and do what we can to get it done.
Focus and practice next week. What's on the agenda?
Yeah, clean it up. Details. Right now it's details, getting more physical. I felt like, we've had some scrimmages and that kind of stuff this week. I feel like we know where we're going. It's now getting to the detail part of it and making sure, if I'm kicking somebody out that I'm on the right shoulder, if I'm a defensive tackle that I'm in the right gap and holding that gap. It's a detail oriented thing now, which makes me feel like we're way ahead of where we're at from last season. We know where to go. Now we got to clean up the details of it and then get really clean. And we got to keep pushing our conditioning and then find a way to keep being physical in practice over and over and over.
That's Hastings St. Cecilia head football coach Clint Head. Again, the Hawks coming up of a 0-9 season a year ago. I don't think they'll be 0-9 this year. Much improved team from what we saw on Saturday. They got together for an early morning practice. Much bigger, both sides of the ball. Like I said, they passed the eye test, so to speak. It's a much bigger team than maybe we saw last year. So hopefully that translates into a few more wins for the Hawks. And again, first part of their schedule, brutal. They open up against the Grand Island Central Catholic.
Right.
They've got Amherst. They've got Kearney Catholic and Bishop Newman all in the first 4 weeks of the season.
Jeez.
Yeah, brutal.
Throwing the Centennial Conference powerhouses right away. Should be some entertaining football. And I wouldn't say brutal. I mean, I think, you have the opportunity. Again, you finished winless a year ago, and that fueled a lot of motivation. I was talking to a lot of dads last weekend, and it was motivation for them. And instead of laying down and saying, this is hard, they chose to rise up and meet adversity straight in the face. And they went right back to work right after the football season ended. And I don't think you're going to see a lot of teams bounce back and respond that way. They want to play better football. This is their opportunity to prove that here in the first 4 weeks of the season. Again, I'm not going to say we're going to go out and be gangbusters and win 4 games in a row and set the world on fire. But I think we're going to be much more competitive. I think these games are going to provide an opportunity to prove that. And they're going to get a chance to chomp things off right away against a GICC team that is absolutely stacked with offensive talent. It'll be a challenge for that defense and get a few stops and get in the ball game, and who knows what can happen. But, again, that line is going to be vastly improved. Like you said, passing the eye test, these kids got bigger. They got more physical. They got stronger in the offseason. And from the St. Cecilia alum perspective, we're excited to see this group of Hawks come out there and play some pretty competitive football on Friday nights.
All right, listening to Mike and Tyson here this morning. This is Huddle Up on Extreme Sports at 7:53.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
Well, shortly after our show Friday, University of Nebraska President Dr. Jeff Gold formally announced that he would decline a performance-based merit pay increase worth nearly $160,000, which had been approved by the University Board of Regents. Dr. Gold requested that the funds instead be directed to support university programs, citing the ongoing financial challenges across the University of Nebraska system. He emphasized his pride in leading the institution and his desire to support students, faculty, and staff during what he called a critical time for higher education. The University of Nebraska system is grappling with a $20 million budget shortfall. And as long as we're on the topic of money, education, and budgets, a program that was established by the state legislature just 2 years ago to fund schools and ultimately save taxpayers some money appears to be headed straight for an iceberg. One school board member in Lincoln says all the state leaders are doing right now is moving around deck chairs on the Titanic. The Education Future Fund was created in 2023 with an initial boost of $1 billion, followed by an annual commitment from the legislature of $250 million, with the aim of lowering property taxes and bolstering K-12 school funding. Governor Jim Pillen even boasted while trying to gain support from lawmakers that the fund would grow to about $2.5 billion by 2030. However, actual spending has outpaced contributions, with expenses exceeding incoming transfers by over $150 million on an annual basis. And now analysts conclude that if lawmakers continue with their standard $250 million in annual contributions, the fund will be inadequate to meet its obligations and could be fully depleted by the end of 2028, just 5 years after its launch. 5 minutes until 8 o'clock. Let's head back to the East Side Studios, get an update on sports. Mike, what's going down?
Well, the Nebraska volleyball team defeated its alumni team 3-1 on Saturday in John Cook Arena at the Bob Devaney Sports Center. Scores were 25-21, 25-14, 17-25, 25-22. Harper Murray had 12 kills for the Huskers. Andy Jackson had 11 kills, 3 blocks, and 3 aces. Allie Batenhorst led the alumni with 13 kills. Lindsey Krause had 12 kills, and Lawrence Difference had 10. Nebraska will officially begin their season this weekend with the ABCA First Serve Showcase at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Huskers will play third-ranked Pittsburgh on Friday at 6 before playing sixth-ranked Stanford on Sunday at 2:30. Hastings College volleyball team went 1-3 in North Newton, Kansas over the weekend. The Broncos beat Langston of Oklahoma, but lost Oklahoma Panhandle State, Texas A&M Texarkana, and Bethel College. Hastings will play an exhibition game at Nebraska Wesleyan on Tuesday. First serve will be at 6:30 inside Snyder Arena. Hastings College football team has announced their team captains for the 2025 season. After a team vote, junior offensive lineman Jaden Lagunas of Hastings St. Cecilia, redshirt junior quarterback Jarrett Sinek of Hastings High, senior safety Sam All of Louisville, and senior tight end Jake Bargan of Centennial were named captains. Hastings will open the season on August 30th at Doane. The Nebraska Kearney women's soccer team has been picked by the league's coaches to finish 7th this year in the MIAA. The Lopers finished 8-6-5 last year, 4-5-3 in the conference. They qualified for the MIAA tournament for the first time in 9 years. UNK will open the season on September 5th at Concordia St. Paul. Omaha forward Deng Mayer died Saturday in a drowning incident at the Black Ridge Reservoir in Harriman, Utah. Mayer was raised in Salt Lake City and averaged 6.3 points and 4 rebounds per game for North Dakota last season before transferring to Omaha at the end of the season. Lincoln East has been eliminated from the American Legion World Series in Shelby, North Carolina. East lost to Rockport of Indiana 6-5 on Friday, beat League City of Texas 14-7 on Saturday, and lost to Portland of Oregon 16-10 on Sunday. Kansas City Royals beat the Chicago White Sox 6-2 on Sunday. Royals are now 63-61 in the season. They'll play host to Texas tonight. First pitch will be at 6:40. That's a check in your sports headlines at 7:58.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
More hot and humid conditions on this Monday. Plenty of sunshine. High at 94. Southeast wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Overnight tonight, chance of showers and thunderstorms after midnight. Some could be strong to severe. Winds would be the main threats out of this, and 68's overnight low. Plenty of sunshine once again on Tuesday. Slightly cooler, a high of 89. 85 and sunny on Wednesday. Thursday, sunny and 88.
As you wake up, get going this morning, south winds at 6, humidity at 84%, clear skies 73 in Hastings.
Have you checked the time lately? Good chance a Maletta Vista Winery is open. Hey, this is Mick with an update on our new hours. Tuesday through Sunday, we're open 11:30 to 3, and Fridays and Saturdays 11:30 till 9. Not sure what you want to enjoy when you get here? Well, Maletta Vista features award-winning wine, select beers, spirits, world-class foods, breathtaking views, and live entertainment. Visit MalettaVistaWinery.com. Check out our events page for music schedules and more. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook. Make your reservations now at Maletta Vista Winery, located on Highway 281, just north of St. Paul.
Connet Auto Care is the trusted name in automotive repair and maintenance services in Hastings. We're a gold-certified Napa Auto Care Center. Our ASE-certified technicians have the Blue Seal of Excellence, receive continuous training, and are committed to providing the best service your vehicle can get. Whether it's preventative maintenance, major repairs, or just an oil change, Connet Auto Care is here for you.
Accessible and affordable holistic care is just around the corner at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center. Located at 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings. At Bamboo Spa, we offer a range of therapies to help you unwind and recharge. Experience soothing massages, rejuvenating head spa scalp treatments, and our Advanced Glow 2 facials. Discover the healing power of ozone therapy and frequency healing. Become a member for exclusive 24-hour access to our therapeutic amenities, including the infrared sauna, hydro massage, and cryo lounge. Members enjoy 20% off all services and 10% off products in our non-toxic retail shop. Visit our Facebook page to learn more and book your appointment today. Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, truly holistic care, designed for you.
Get ready for the ultimate trivia experience with Extreme Sports Trivia. Play from anywhere at home, on the go, or at your favorite bar or restaurant. Compete live against players from all over in real time, answering questions across categories like sports, pop culture, Marvel, and more. Want to see how you stack up? Track your progress with live leaderboards and aim for the top spot. It's free, fun, and super easy to play. So what are you waiting for? Sign up today at extremesports.com trivia and start playing now. And keep an eye out. We're coming soon to a bar or restaurant near you.
All right, Mike Wilton, Science Center Vronic with you. It's a Huddle Up on Extreme Sports. Talked about our alternate uniforms in the first half hour of the show today. Nebraska coming out with their black unis for the ball game against USC. Going to have a blackout scheduled for that night. Russ has chimed in. He says he don't like the blackout with a sea of red.
I understand the sentiment, but you got to mix it up a little bit. You got to put eyeballs on your program, and nothing puts eyeballs on your program on social media quite like an unveiling of a new uniform. And you get the kids chirping and retweeting and sharing that these are pretty sharp. It's a tool, and you need to utilize all the tools in your toolbox at this in this new world of college football to get some exposure. So I understand both sides, but I think they look sharp. So
black unis for the USC game.
Are we going to come out back in black? AC/DC?
I bet we do. Something like that.
You have to, right?
You've changed up the music. Change up the music?
Nothing would piss off Husker Nation more than not utilizing the tunnel walk.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about tradition.
Oh, yeah.
All of a sudden, we got black unis on, and we come out with a different tune.
Oh, I'll fire them up.
It will do something. It would do something. So anyway, heading into another important week for the fall sports teams. They'll continue their preparations, and their season openers will be coming up here shortly. We'll try to track down some more coaches to talk with during the show this week. So going to be another busy week. You're off to school. How's it feel?
It's good. It'll be fine. I don't know. It's always nervous energy, and I don't care whether you're going into first grade for the first time as a kid or going in for year 3 in education. It's always kind of a little nervous energy. Brand new set of students. How are they going to respond? How are they going to react? And what kind of a year we have? We've set the table. I've done a lot of hard work in the summer, just in terms of kind of reshaping and trying to get a little bit more visibility to our program, and want to do some, at the same time, like fun and exciting projects with the kids. And so I think we've laid the framework to what should be a successful year, and we'll see how things get underway. So
you got all your supplies?
Oh, hell no. Supplies?
Well, like the kids, they get this list of things that mommy and daddy have got to go out and buy pencils and paper and magic markers. And
we need a laptop computer, a USB microphone, and creative brains.
That's all you need?
That's all you need. I don't use textbooks.
No, yeah?
Students like that. They don't like to pay for a whole lot more things, so I'm not going to make them pay for anything for the class.
So you just put everything online?
Just put everything out there.
Yeah, that's all right. So don't forget your computer today. That would be the first thing.
Step 1.
Step 1, make sure the computer is in the car. Make sure, is the battery charged up on the computer?
We got a charger.
I know, but did you throw it in?
Yeah.
Or is it just out there? You just left it in the classroom?
Oh, no.
You got to take your charger with you?
Charger's already loaded up, ready to go.
Okay, I'm just going through your checklist. I want you to start the year off right.
Step 1 is
not get to your classroom and all of a sudden not have what you need to get started.
Well, to be fair and brutally honest, the first day is more of a introduction, like a getting to know you kind of session, where we kind of go over the guidelines, what we're going to do in the semester. I'm not going to start them off with like a lesson right off the bat, and then give them homework on day 1.
No, you don't want to give them homework on day 1.
That nothing says, hey, this is going to be the most lame instructor, like giving them homework on day 1. So
God, that pissed me off.
Get to know you. Get to know what the class is all about. Get to know what we're going to do. Maybe peel the onion back a little bit. Go over some long-term goals. And have some fun in the process. So
by then, the day will be over.
That's right.
Day 1 will be in the books. So, all right. So a lot of stuff going on. We heard from a lot of people today: Danny Busboom Kelly, Matt Franzen, Clint Head. If you listen to those interviews again, you can just download the podcast section in one of our social media sites, and you can listen to this show again. Don't forget, we'll do it again tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock for Huddle Up on Extreme Sports. Have yourself a great day.
You've been listening to Huddle Up on Extreme Sports, Central Nebraska's new home for sports. Join us every weekday morning from 7 until 8 on Extreme Sports.